What's up, America? Neil here with Jogger Farms Academy. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to talk about concealed carry positions, and specifically, I've already done several videos on this, but specifically today about types of holsters, the style of holster, where they're worn in the body, and how that will affect you as the user. I see a lot of people that have holsters and they use them improperly, which is going to give you a bad experience as a CCWer, because it's not designed to either be in the position on your body that you're using it for, or it's used in a way where you're not getting the most benefit out of that particular setup. So let's dive into this. These are all the products that we're going to be talking about. I'll go through the names on them again. It's not a product review or anything, but at least you'll have an idea here and try to guide you along. I know this looks more like a scene from John Wick or something when we're getting all ready here. But we're going to talk about each individual product, how they're adjusted, the parts and things that can be added to them to completely change how you use them, and again, what's for wear in the body and best performance. So we're going to use a variety of different weapons and sizes. So something as small as a carry pistol like this, which is a single stack, to one of my instructor guns, which is a big, pretty much a 5-inch barrel. And so we'll show what goes with what. Believe it or not, even if you do it properly, even a large gun can still be concealed pretty well. But of course, there's always going to be some limitations. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today is a full Kydex. And so for those that aren't familiar with that, full Kydex simply means that it's totally made of Kydex on both sides, okay? And what I like about a full Kydex, this is a pretty big one. This is for my instructor gun, okay? Is that it's completely convertible. It doesn't matter who makes it, how much you paid for it. They're all going to be convertible, and by that I mean you can wear them inside the waistband or outside the waistband. It's completely up to you, and that's going to be determined by how you set this up. So as you can see right now, again, as I said, this is one of my instructor guns. This is set up for outside the waistband. And we know that because just by looking at it, we can see that the belt loops here are on the inside of the holster. Now, of course, this is in the 4 o'clock position, and we'll talk about the two most common, which is appendix and 4 o'clock for right-handed and just the opposite for left. But even with a really large gun here, obviously just throwing a t-shirt over here alone isn't going to make it a great big concealment deal. But the holster itself, since it's the actual loops hold the gun really tight, you can see how tight it is to my body. This can still be with the, say, this is a large, an XL, okay, an extra large shirt. This would still work out pretty good. Depending on the climate, like right now in Northeast Ohio, it's pretty cold. So if I did, even if I wore it outside and I had everything tucked in, I could wear an outer garment like a sweatshirt. I have just a regular sweatshirt on, right? Zip up or what have you. It still gives me access if I need to. The only thing I need to be concerned about in this scenario is if this is like a Carhartt or something really warm and I'm going to go somewhere potentially where I'm going to have lunch or whatever and I'm going to take this off, well, then I have a different issue there about keeping that concealed. However, that said, if this is kind of the setup here, you can easily, there's no way you can tell. I got a firearm on me now that has pretty much a 5-inch barrel on it, 20 rounds, flashlight. You're still never going to know, okay? But, of course, you may live in a climate where it's always warm. So this may or may not be the option for you. This gun is obviously not an ideal concealed carry gun. I'm just showing that even a gun this big, done properly, can be concealed. Now remember, this is an outside the waistband, so I'm going to show you here in a second how we can change this to inside the waistband. So in this exact holster, the same one I just had on the outside, if I were to change these clips, so again, from the inside, from the inside of the holster, which makes it an outside the waistband holster, if I were to use something like this, this is called a soft loop, I would unscrew these, take these both off, and then I can add this soft loop, and you can set it up for whatever height you want. And again, another important thing when it comes to wearing your gun all the time in the proper holster, the ride height and even the cant, which we'll discuss later on, is going to be important to you based on your body type, where you carry it, and it's a personal preference, okay? And I'll tell you how I set mine up. Again, that doesn't mean that's the only answer, it's just the one that I prefer. So this soft loop would now go on the outside of the holster, making it an inside the waistband holster. So I'm just going to do it up front here just for the camera, make it easy here. If I had attached this soft loop to the inside, then this whole, again, let's just put it here just for easy viewing. This would go on the inside of my pants. This loop would come out on the outside of my pants. I would take my belt and run it through, or in this case just snap it on, and then I would tighten everything up, and so the only thing that would be exposed would be this clip on both sides, one on each side. Okay, so again, makes no difference. Full Kydex, any brand. This one, by the way, is made by KT Mech. Okay, I'll put a link down there. That's where I get the majority of my holsters that I use for training and whatnot. Great company, but KT Mech. Another example of again, a full Kydex, and this is my everyday rig. Again, KT Mech, same company. This one actually has these clips. Not a huge fan of simply because I prefer loops over clips, but I've been testing these out. These are the actual clip itself is from Bravo Concealment. And if you look, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but you see that pretty big gap right there? Well, that's there for a reason. That makes this holster tuckable so that I can actually put this on the inside of my waistband and then tuck a shirt in behind it. So if I had to wear a dress shirt or what have you, that's what that gap is, just so you understand that. And again, all this is just an outside the waistband, inside the waistband clip that's attached to the outside. So I'll show you exactly how this one would work. With the holster on, we can see now here that you have the only thing that's really exposed is these two plastic clips that you just saw, and that is going to keep this really tight to my body so that I'm able to carry this right here in the 4 o'clock position. I would then go ahead and tighten my belt up to wherever it was comfortable. And even though this is a form-fitting shirt, I mean, it's a large, an extra large obviously would be significantly better. Even in that case, it's really not that bad. And frankly, I don't think printing has never been a big deal for me. I really don't care. You can't know for sure that it's a gun, and it's none of your business what it is. So we just wear a bit larger shirt, and it will be perfect. So again, that's a full Kydex holster with outside the waistband clips. Now, here's advantage, disadvantage. When you have a clip style like this, the one advantage is that you can take this off a little easier. I can just unclip this. The soft loops, you can do the same thing. These pull snaps, these are pretty tight, especially when they're new. You're going to take them on and off a couple times to break them in. If you have a more of a solid outer loop, though, that's going to be a little bit of pain when you're going to run the belt through. So having this is nice. You can unclip that and take it out. The disadvantage, of course, is that may happen when you're drawing, so something you're going to have to work with, and the reason why I'm not a huge fan of clips. But these I've been running for several months now, and they're working out really well. I like them. We're going to talk more about 4 o'clock position, but before I get too far, for those that are into the appendix position, I don't want to leave you out there. As I said before, I'm not a big fan of appendix. That doesn't mean it's bad. I just don't prefer it. I don't like it. And just to be clear, appendix is right here, okay? And there is a distinctive difference between an appendix holster and a holster that you're going to carry at the 4 o'clock position. So, first of all, if we think about this, if I have a holster like this, which is considered kind of a pancake style where it's spreading the weight balance out, ideal for 4 o'clock, really nice. But since we're going to be putting it right here up front, you can't have a whole lot of bulk here, okay? So we got to run as minimal as possible. So this would not be an ideal appendix holster. What would be an ideal appendix holster is something like this. And this one, by the way, is made by Vetter. Again, I'll put the link down there. Great little holster. And these are usually a single piece of Kydex. So it's just one piece that's folded over around the gun. It's this one in particular has an adjustment for retention. Another thing that's going to be important to you as a CCWer is having that retention so that you can, one, draw the gun quickly and effectively, but two, will hold the gun in any position. So if you did fall down, the gun's not going to come falling out, or you sit down, or whatever the case is. Okay, and it has a single clip on here, okay? And so this is the XDS, and that will just fit in there like so. So the way we would do this, set this guy up. I'd put it right up here onto and make sure, I've seen this happen too, people will put this on their clothes and then put their belt over there. That's a big mistake, because this does not have hardly any retention at all. By retention, I mean its ability to stay onto your pants. That's not what this is for. It's designed to connect with the belt itself, okay? And we can tighten it up. By the way, that little track line here, this is made by Core. Another really cool. I wore it specifically for this video because I knew it'd be taken on and off. So really nice. So now we have more of an appendix setup here so that we can run our gun in the appendix style. So if this is, again, your deal, that would be what you're looking for. A very minimal, typically all Kydex appendix style holster, and that will allow me to be able to access that when I need to. Again, taking that off, pretty simple, just a clip. This one happens to be metal. I would say that between the plastic and the metal, these are going to be a little bit better than the plastic ones. The other thing that you'll notice on many holsters is you'll see when they do have a single clip, they have 2 screws here. Okay, the 2 screws are designed so that I can loosen this one and then turn this clip at any angle that I want, and that will allow me to run a cant. Okay, typically with appendix, I've never heard of anyone running a cant. That doesn't make sense. But when they do run at 4 o'clock, for example, let's just say this was it for this. A lot of people like to have what they call a 15-degree cant. It's also known in the industry as an FBI cant, although the FBI doesn't have a cant. That's not the point. And so it just allows them to reach their gun. I don't particularly like that. Any holster I run is always at a 0 cant, because the moment my muzzle clears, I want to be coming forward. So again, that's personal preference. Whatever works for you, works for you. We're going to start stepping into what we call hybrid holsters, where they're not full Kydex. This, for example, is by Raw Dog. Excellent holster. Kim did a review on it. The one thing I would tell you on this is a really comfortable holster for 4 o'clock. Because the backing is a hard leather and it's got a little bit more spread to it, meaning that it comes out not just as minimal as possible, this is going to add a little bit more bulk if you were going to carry appendix. You could definitely do it, but again, something a little bit more minimal would be ideal. But hybrid simply means we have something, in this case leather, and I'm going to show you some other examples of material other than leather, that's used on the back of the holster. Now, the one thing that I will never change, and I've been saying from this channel since it started, whatever holster you're going to run, as far as I'm concerned, must have a hard trigger guard. Okay? That is a must. Absolute must. There's holsters that are all nylon or stretchy material. I'm totally against that. I don't ever want anything, a seatbelt buckle, pencil, pen, I don't know, corner of a table. I don't want anything, kids, I don't want anything that would possibly get in there and cause that trigger to be depressed. So I will only run a holster with a hard outer shell. That said, again, this one is got a leather backing. So this is Alien Gear, and I've done plenty of reviews on their products, and there's some more coming up. Alien Gear is obviously a hybrid holster as well. The difference is, if we look at the Raw Dog, this one has a leather backing, very thick, heavy leather backing, very nice. Leather takes a little bit of time, just like a baseball mitt. It takes a little bit of time to break in. It's very comfortable when it does, but you got to wear it. Your sweat, body heat, it starts to kind of mold to your body. And so the difference with this neoprene backing, which is kind of like a wetsuit material, is that it doesn't, male, female, fat, skinny, tall, short, this conforms immediately. It's just more of a soft, pliable material. And in their newer models, for those that are super ninja, unlike myself, there is a spring plate, a little spring steel backing with inside here that gives it a little bit more rigidity as well. And that's called the Cloak Tuck 3.0. And as you can see here, I've added the loops because, again, as I said, I prefer those. But this is a pancake style hybrid, so it's going to spread the weight out. So let's see how this works. Putting the Alien Gear on, the holster system is going to go inside your pants. Then these loops are going to come up around the belt. They click from the bottom to the top. Okay, both sides. Okay, let me just pull this up a little bit. Then we're going to go ahead and tighten our pants back up. I never took my pants off for that many people before. So nice and tight to the body, and then we can take our gun there and run it right back there. Okay, so again, conform to the body, no question about it. In my opinion, hybrid holsters with the soft backing is superior in comfort to a hard Kydex shell. There's pluses and minuses to everything. But that, again, tucks to my body. I can throw my shirt over it. Okay, and I'm ready to go. Again, looser shirt, that would be great. Still allows me to be able to draw my gun just the way I'd want to. So that brings us to the paddle style holsters, where you have a paddle in the back. And the advantage of the paddle is that you don't have to unloop your entire belt. So if I have the belt loops, which is, no matter how we look at it, this is going to be a superior security measure. This is not going to come off unless your belt comes off. But the counter to that is it's a little bit pain in the butt trying to weave everything in and out. So they have these paddle styles. I'm not a huge, be the first to admit, I'm not a huge fan for concealment. if you're going to run a training class or something like that, I mean, in a training class, you're going to be taking stuff on and off. Okay, maybe. But it doesn't have the security as a belt through. But most importantly, I haven't found too many paddle holsters that really are great for concealment because it just keeps the gun too far away. Putting on the paddle, just run it, in this case, I'm just going to run it around the belt here so you can see. Okay. When I put my gun in here, as you can see, hopefully the camera's picking, can they see this? It's pretty far from my body, which is the opposite of what I really want. When it comes to conceal, like for getting the gun out fast and that, rock and roll. I've had some type of retention on it, it'd be great for security work or whatever. But for concealment, I don't want something sticking that far away from me. So I haven't found too many paddle holsters that really keep it tight. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of comments to try this one, but not a big fan of that. So paddle holster, quick for getting on and off, not great for concealment. So now I want to talk a little bit about cant. Again, I touched on it a little bit earlier, but I just want to be more clear. This setup right now is at a 15-degree inside the waistband cant. And so if I put my weapon in there, you'll see that it's on an angle there, so that when my hand goes back, it has that kind of curve, okay, or that angle. Now, you may love this, may hate it. I don't carry this because my philosophy is, as I go back, even if you want to argue that's more comfortable, that's fine. But when I come out, the moment that this clears my holster, I got to make up that 15 degrees and then come forward. And all you think, well, how much is that? Well, when your life's on the line, fractions of seconds count. So as soon as I come up, I would prefer to be coming straight out forward. So everything forward movement, I'm not making up that distance. But again, that's just my philosophy. You may love 15-degree cants. If that's the case, rock and roll. Okay. Most holsters are going to be adjustable, so you can set it up. So I'm going to show you real quick. We do the same thing without the cant at a 0 degree that I normally run. Okay, so in comparison, so now you see the gun is completely vertical, so that when I go to draw this one up, I'm already coming forward. My preference, again, you got to experiment. You got to decide what you like. Don't do something because it's what I prefer. Try it out. See if it works for you. Wear it around your house. Do your normal things. Can you get in cars? Can you sit down? All that kind of stuff. Find out your body type. How, you know, some people are heavier, skinnier. See what works for you. We're going to be drilling down in some more details and other things in concealed carry here in the coming series, like carrying other things like magazines, flashlights. There's a bunch of holsters that can help you out for that, and we're going to talk about that. There's one other holster that is kind of becoming known, I guess, for good and bad reasons. I'm not going to mention names or anything like that. I'm sure you've seen it before. But it's a holster that actually runs the gun inside the pant, deep inside the pants. And it has like this, I don't know, it looks like almost like a phone case or something. And you pull it up and it exposes the gun. I'm just going to say this. If you think that's going to work, sit down, okay, when you're bent, and try to pull it out. I'll just leave it at that. It's got to work in a variety of situations. What if you're in your car and you're trying to pull this thing out? Okay? Think about those kinds of things. Alrighty, guys. I hope you guys learned something, got something useful from this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. You can find us now, obviously, on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. Who knows what's coming? Okay? We're going to try to use as many media sources as possible. That's convenient for you guys. If you like this video, other than a thumbs up, I greatly, Kim and I both appreciate you sharing this. That's bigger than anything, any compliment, any comment you can give me is sharing it. That really helps us get our message out there if you like it. Until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.